President Cyril Ramaphosa is about to launch the phase 2 of the business and government partnership.
The partnership was established over a year ago, and I believe the president is now on the podium. Let's listen in.
There's nothing else to be said because Adrian, Pindi and Martin and you, Chairperson, have already said a mouthful about why we are here. But let me start off by thanking you all as CEOs who are here today. The pledge that you made a year ago or so, and your repledge today, where we relaunch the commitment that you've made to take South Africa forward, is something that I find most commendable. I'd also like to thank the ministers who are in our national executive, some of whom I knew, brand new, from the box. And not from the opposition box, but from the box, who have found time to be here today. Earlier, we held a cabinet committee meeting, and we had a number of apologies. And when I got into the meeting, I just said, it looks like the ministers and deputy ministers are on strike. Knowing what strikes are, I was quite a bit sad to see so many were away. A number of them are either traveling overseas to Brazil for the G20 meetings, and others are busy with a whole lot of other things, but I'm really glad to see a number of them here. More than a year ago, we began a journey that we embarked upon together as South Africans. It was a journey that was aimed at harnessing the potential of collaboration to address some of the most important challenges that our country faces. And I stand here as the guilty party who is always accused of embarking on too many consultation processes. I spawned this process and said, let us collaborate with business. And I'm accused, they say, oh, he loves consultation, he's indecisive, he always wants to talk to other people. And look at where we are today with all of you collaborating. Now, through this partnership, and we have a number of partnerships with yourselves as business, we have other partnerships with labor, with the religious communities, with social movements, but with this partnership we have worked very well to mobilize the skills, the talent, the expertise and goodwill that exists in our country behind a single task: to grow our economy and to create jobs. That has been our single and most important objective. Now, this evening is an opportunity to reflect on the progress that we have made and to recommit ourselves to this joint effort. And that is why when Adrian and them and Kolisi and them said, we want to have a relaunch of this commitment, I was truly overjoyed. It is true, as Adrian said, that economic growth lies at the heart of everything else that we seek to achieve in our country. Everything is underpinned by a growing economy. And if we can achieve, and which we must, rapid economic growth, we will be able to create jobs, and we will be able to reduce poverty amongst our people. Because with more rapid growth, we can generate more revenue for Minister Godongwane, who is here. I spent a few hours with him this morning as we were discussing the big moment that will soon be coming when he presents the medium-term policy budget statement, and talking about where will growth come? Where will growth come from? Where are we going to direct this economy to create jobs? And so he needs revenue. With that, we can employ more police officers, more nurses, more teachers, and more social workers, and we can expand support, for the most vulnerable in our society. And during the 6th administration, we initiated a program of far-reaching economic reforms through Operation Vulindlela. This was a government-wide initiative to accelerate growth, but also to address and attend to the binding constraints that were holding our economy back from growth. We are now seeing the impact of some of those reforms, and the work that is being done, that is underway, drawing on the efforts of social partners. We have opened up a new era of hope, a new era of promise that many see emerging in our country. And after several years of debilitating load shedding, we are now finally turning a corner on the energy crisis. As a result of the steps that we have taken through the Energy Action Plan, we have experienced a number of days, more than 180 days without load shedding. And a great proof of that is Minister Dr. Ramaphosa, who's here, who's been a real zealot in as far as ensuring that load shedding becomes history in our country. Reforms in the energy sector have also unlocked hundreds of billions of rands in investment, helping to address the long-standing shortfall in our electricity supply. Now, through the National Logistics Crisis Committee, which we created together with Labour, yourselves as business, and government, we are making progress in stabilizing and improving the logistics system to support our key export industries. We have embarked on a process of fundamental reform through the Freight Logistics Roadmap, enabling open access to the freight logistics network and introducing the private sector in container terminals for the first time. And some of these processes were quite terrifying for a number of people. People in my tribe, in government, were fearful, and they were saying, oh, the private sector is going to come and swallow us, and they will cut jobs. And people in the private sector were also a bit concerned, will we be able to work with government or not? And we've been taking all these steps, crossing the river, and perhaps a number of rivers, by feeling our way on the stones as we are crossing those rivers. We have also made real progress in strengthening our law enforcement agencies and reversing the effects of state capture. This work is helping to entrench the rule of law and create a predictable environment for investment. And in this area, there was major concern in government about even beginning to work with the private sector on dealing with this huge problem of tackling corruption. But we have been working together, and we have doubled our efforts also, as Martin Kingston was saying, to remove our country from the grey listing process. And we are working together to rebuild the prosecutorial capabilities of the Hawks and the National Prosecuting Authority as well. And just in the past few months, I've been able to sign a number of acts, and acts that have spent right across, be it NHI, be it the Electricity Regulation Amendment Act and the Economic Regulation and Transport Act, have been loved and hated by various quotas for signing that one and so on. But all this represents that we are moving forward. We are definitely on a forward movement path. And what these shifts demonstrate is that the actions that we have taken as a country over the past 5 years are definitely making a difference. We are not stuck in a rut. We are not stuck in one place. We are a country that is moving forward. And we're moving forward largely because we've been brave enough to embrace one another, to form partnerships with business, with labor, and with civil society. And all these partnerships have been able to play really meaningful roles in supporting the process of making our country to move forward so that there's social cohesion, so that we can create an economy that creates jobs as we move forward. Now, through Business for South Africa and the Resource Mobilization Fund, business has also provided resources as well as expertise, as we had, to support the performance of turnaround of the key power stations in our country, the rail corridors and port terminals. And this is commendable. We have seen the benefits of meaningful collaboration that brings together the strengths as well as the capabilities of both the private and public sectors. And we have seen the impact of how, when we work together and we deploy capabilities and expertise, we're able to achieve enormous feats. We have seen this collaboration in a number of centers, in power stations, in the ports, and a number of other places. So our collaboration across these focal areas is enabling an environment for investment. It's enabling an environment of sustainable job creation. And through these partnerships with business, such as, for instance, the YES program, we've been able to create thousands of jobs, job placements for unemployed young people. And through this, roughly half of the companies represented here this evening have participated in the YES program. And we'd like to see this doubling and becoming more and more. We've also been able, through the SA Youth Mobi partnership, together with Harambee, to bring in a number of young people into registering for job readiness. And this, in the end, has been a fantastic achievement of our partnership. And finally, through the SME Fund, government and business have partnered to provide billions of rands in the funding to innovate startups of small, medium enterprises. Now, all these initiatives show that we can really make a dent on unemployment by working together and leveraging our respective resources as well as our various capabilities. A year into this partnership, we do have much to celebrate and much to look forward to. We are launching the next phase of this partnership with a government of national unity now. A government of national unity that represents the strength of our diversity as South Africans. That represents indeed how, working together, we can do much more than when we work on our own in our little silos. As we approach, and as now we are in the 100 days of this 7th administration, the collaborative spirit amongst political parties and all social partners, and the drive to get things done has been on full display. It's been an absolute joy for me as president to see how ministers in our government and deputy ministers have become energized, whether new or old, not in age terms, but in position terms. You can't say John Steenhuisen is old. He's a brand new broom that has come in. But it's been an absolute joy. The other day I listened to Mackenzie saying that people say that he is happy to be in government. He says, Mr. President, they are lying. I am not happy. I am very happy. So you see the energy all round. You see everyone. And it's also been wonderful. And I can see there were some colleagues who are here who were in New York with us. You see them, new and old ministers, strutting the global stage, representing South Africa, whether it's in China or in New York. All of us singing from the same hymn book. None talking negatively about their country. And business people in tow as well, speaking so positively about our future and about where we are. This is the South Africa that we must applaud. This is where we want to be. And this is where we want to go. Now, the GNU, as they call it, is fully committed to following through on the reform agenda and achieving more rapid and inclusive economic growth. Economic growth is the glue that has brought us all together. We have a unique opportunity to work together through this partnership to place our country on a new trajectory. At the same time, we have a lot of work ahead of us. The challenges in our freight logistics system continue to undermine economic growth and hinder our competitiveness. The constraints in our transmission network present a risk to much-needed investments in renewable energy. The rate of violent crime remains unacceptably high in our country, and our unemployment rate is unsustainable. And yet, despite all these challenges, we have never been more confident in our ability to overcome them. We have built credibility and trust by turning plans into action. Now, and we need to continue to turn those plans into real action. And everyone in the government that I lead is now motivated to make sure that the next 100 days, the next 300 days, and the next 4 years, we can turn the plans that we have and the plans that we put together into real action. And one of the things I've been saying to my colleagues is we must turn our commitments into reality. We must also now increase our ambition. We must become much more ambitious. Yes, Adrian, we want to hit that 3% or 3.5% growth. But I want us to raise our gaze, to aim for much higher capabilities, and our ambition must be at a much higher level. We must reach even higher to achieve our shared goal of a growing and prosperous South Africa. The actions that we are presenting this evening, that have been presented here, do demonstrate indeed the extent of our growing ambition. And these actions are focused, they are practical, and I do believe that they are also achievable. Now, this partnership between business and government is in the end part of a broader effort amongst all of our social partners to build and transform our economy. And as we move on forward, even towards a national dialogue that we've been talking about, we want to mobilize all of society and make South Africans much more cohesive. And I do want to thank those who have contributed their time, and there are quite a number of you who have done so, but who have also contributed resources and the support that you have given to this groundbreaking partnership that has evolved. And we call on those who have not yet made their commitment to join us in seizing this moment and unlocking South Africa's true potential. And government and business have both undertaken to commit greater resources to achieve our national goal, and we have a window of opportunity to make real and rapid advances. This is a window that has now been opened, and it's been opened by the people of South Africa, who on the 29th of May decided that we want to open a new chapter, a new window for South Africa to move forward. And the result of that was the formation of this government that we now have in place. And I do believe that South Africa's star is rising, and we must follow that star, because it is the star that will lead this country to a much better place. So if we work together, continue working together, and continue being the guilty parties that I've been the guilty one of wanting collaboration and more collaboration. So join me in being as guilty as I am. Let us work together and be the guilty ones for wanting to take South Africa forward. So let's do it, because it is possible. Thank you.
All right, it's just gone 6 o'clock. You're watching The Full View. I'm Fundo Mabalani, and of course, those are live visuals there from Sandton at the launch of Phase 2, Bongiwe, of the business partnership with government, very critical to take South Africa forward.
And of course, President Cyril Ramaphosa, they're speaking about the fact that at some point there were those who were skeptical about his decision to consult widely on a number of issues. And he says that now, here they are. A year later, there has been some investment that he says has been made when it comes to not only giving young people some employment opportunities, but at the same time, those who are starting up their own businesses have also been able to be supported.